Some days your mind feels like a battlefield, filled with invisible enemies called what if, not enough, and what's next. And slowly, worry becomes your default setting. But here's the truth. Worry doesn't protect you. It paralyzes you. It doesn't prepare you. It drains you. Buddhism offers a way out, not through force, but through deep understanding. You don't escape worry by controlling life. You escape it by learning to let go, by returning to the present, by practicing peace until it becomes who you are. In this video, I'll guide you through timeless Buddhist lessons that can help you break free from the grip of anxiety and step into a life of calm, clarity, and real happiness. If your heart is tired of overthinking, this may be the shift you've been searching for. Let's begin your healing right now. 1. Worry is a thief that robs you twice. Worry is a quiet thief. It sneaks in when you're alone, steals your peace, and leaves you feeling drained. But what makes it so dangerous is that it doesn't just rob you once, it robs you twice. First, in your imagination, then in your real life. Before anything actually happens, your mind paints the worst-case scenarios. You start thinking, what if I fail? What if they leave me? What if I lose everything? These thoughts might seem harmless at first, but they begin to build emotional tension in your body. Your heart races, your breathing shortens, your sleep disappears. And here's the truth, Buddhism teaches, most of our suffering doesn't come from what's real. It comes from what we imagine. We suffer in our minds long before anything actually goes wrong. We replay painful scenarios that haven't even happened. We prepare for heartbreak that might never come. And in doing so, we rob ourselves of the only moment we actually have, the present. In Buddhist wisdom, worry is seen as a form of mental attachment, a clinging to what hasn't happened, a refusal to trust the present moment. You're not really reacting to life. You're reacting to your thoughts about life. Your imagination becomes a movie screen for fear, and you sit there watching it over and over again. But here's the shift. When you become aware of your worry, you start taking your power back. The next time anxiety creeps in, pause and gently ask yourself, am I actually in danger? Or is this just a story my mind is telling me? Is this happening now, or am I just imagining it? This small act of mindfulness creates space between you and the worry. And in that space, you can breathe, you can see clearly, you can choose peace. Because awareness isn't just noticing what's wrong, it's the beginning of true freedom. 2. Accept what you can't control. One of the greatest causes of worry is our deep desire to control everything around us. We want to control the outcome of every situation. We want people to act the way we expect. We want life to follow a perfect plan we've created in our heads. But life doesn't follow our plan. It never has, and it never will. In Buddhism, this constant need for control is seen as a form of attachment. You attach your happiness to things going your way, so when they don't, you feel stress, anxiety, frustration. You start worrying because deep down you believe that if you could just manage everything perfectly, nothing would go wrong. But here's the truth. You are not in charge of everything. You can't control the weather. You can't control how others treat you. You can't control what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow. And the more you try to control what's uncontrollable, the more powerless and anxious you feel. Buddhism teaches a freeing truth. Peace comes not from control, but from acceptance. When you accept that life will flow with or without your permission, you begin to soften. You begin to let go of the tight grip you've had on outcomes. Instead of resisting reality, you start flowing with it. Think of it like a river. When you try to swim against the current, you get exhausted. You panic. But when you let go and trust the direction of the water, you begin to float. That's what acceptance feels like. It doesn't mean you're weak or passive. It means you're wise enough to stop fighting what is. Next time something feels out of your hands, pause and remind yourself, this moment is unfolding exactly as it needs to. I don't have to fix everything. I only need to respond with peace. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of what weighs you down. It's choosing clarity over chaos, trust over tension. And when you make that choice, worry loses its power over you. 3. Create a ritual of gratitude. Worry thrives in the absence of appreciation. When the mind is focused on what's missing, what might go wrong, or what's not enough, it forgets everything that's already beautiful and working well. Buddhism teaches that the quality of your mind determines the quality of your life. So if your thoughts are always on fear, your experience will be heavy. But if your thoughts shift to gratitude, something powerful happens. Your energy changes. Gratitude is not just a nice feeling, it's a spiritual practice. It anchors you in the present moment. It reminds your mind that even in uncertainty, you are still deeply blessed. It creates space between fear and truth. Here's why this matters. You can't be fully worried and fully grateful at the same time. The two can't live in the same breath. Gratitude softens fear. It silences the inner noise. It returns you to what is, instead of spiraling into what if. That's why creating a daily ritual of gratitude is so powerful. Not a random act, but a consistent, intentional habit. A few quiet minutes each morning or night to acknowledge what is good, what is sacred, what is enough. Start small. Each day write down or whisper 3 things you're grateful for. Not just big things like health or success, but tiny details. The warmth of your tea, the quiet of dawn, a kind word from someone you love, the fact that you are breathing and that this breath is yours. Over time, this ritual trains your brain to notice blessings instead of threats. It retrains the nervous system to relax. It rewires your emotional response from fear to fullness. Gratitude is the bridge that brings you back to yourself. It reminds you that no matter what is happening outside, you can always find something steady inside. So when worry begins to cloud your mind, return to this ritual. Pause, breathe, reflect, and gently say, I may not have everything I want, but I have more than enough to be thankful for today. That is the seed of daily happiness. And from that seed, peace begins to grow. 4. Stop trying to please everyone. One of the most exhausting forms of worry comes from trying to live up to everyone's expectations. You try to say the right thing, do the right thing, look the right way, just to keep others happy. But deep down, you know the truth. No matter how hard you try, someone will still criticize you. In Buddhism, this craving for approval is seen as a trap of the ego. We want to be liked. We want to be accepted. And so we begin to shift our identity based on who we're around. We silence our true thoughts. We change our actions to avoid judgment. We carry the burden of other people's opinions until our own inner voice is drowned out. But here's what Buddhist wisdom teaches. Trying to please everyone is a form of self-abandonment. It is choosing temporary approval over lasting peace. There is a famous parable from the Buddha's teachings. A man goes to the Buddha and says, "People speak ill of me no matter what I do." The Buddha replies, "There will always be those who praise you and those who blame you. If you live by the praise, you will die by the blame. Let that sink in. If your happiness depends on how others see you, then your peace is no longer yours. It belongs to them. And no matter how much you bend yourself to please them, it will never be enough. You'll constantly worry, did I say the wrong thing? Will they still like me? Am I disappointing someone? Freedom begins the day you decide, my peace is more important than their approval. It doesn't mean you become rude or careless. It means you become authentic. You stop apologizing for being yourself. You stop performing for acceptance. Instead, you start asking, is this aligned with who I am? Does this decision bring me inner peace, even if others don't understand it? When you choose to live truthfully, some people will leave, but the ones who stay, they will love you for who you really are, not the mask you wore to fit in. So let go of the pressure to please everyone. Say no when you mean no. Speak gently but honestly. Live in a way that your soul feels proud of. Because when your heart is at peace with your own truth, no one else's opinion has the power to disturb you. 5. Move your body to free. Your mind and body are not separate. They are deeply connected, like two rivers flowing into one another. What affects the body affects the mind. What clutters the mind burdens the body. Buddhism teaches that when your mind becomes restless, anxious, or heavy with worry, you don't always need to think your way out of it. Sometimes you simply need to move. When we sit still for too long, trapped in our thoughts, stuck behind screens, or lying in bed replaying our fears, our energy becomes stagnant. Worry builds. Your breath shortens. Your posture tightens. Your chest begins to feel heavy. This is why Buddhist monks and practitioners place so much value on mindful movement, not for appearance, but for alignment. They walk slowly, deliberately, often in silence, allowing every step to be a form of meditation. Each movement becomes a way to bring the mind back into the body and the body back into balance. When you move your body, whether through walking, stretching, yoga, or even gentle exercise, you activate a natural reset. Your breath deepens, your heartbeat steadies, your nervous system relaxes, you stop overthinking and start simply being. And in that physical presence, the mental noise softens. You don't need a gym. You don't need a routine full of rules. You just need space. Space to walk around your home in silence. Space to stretch your arms slowly under the morning sky. Space to take a deep, conscious breath and allow your body to release what the mind has been carrying for too long. There is a reason why nature feels healing. Because in nature, your body moves with the earth, not against it. Buddhist teachings often encourage walking meditation in forests or gardens. Why? Because when you walk among trees, rivers, and mountains, your body aligns with the stillness of the natural world, and the mind in return follows. Try this when you feel overwhelmed. Stand up, place your hand on your heart, take one deep, slow breath, and then move. Walk without a destination, stretch without judgment. Let your body flow and trust that your mind will follow. Movement is not just physical relief, it's emotional release. It's how your body says to your mind, you don't have to carry this alone. So the next time worry begins to rise, remember, you don't have to overthink your way to peace. You can move your way into it, step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment. 6. Let go of perfection. There's a quiet pressure many of us carry, the pressure to get everything right, to make no mistakes, to always say the perfect words, make the perfect decisions, live the perfect life. But what we often don't realize is that this craving for perfection is a seed of deep suffering. It creates a constant background noise in the mind, anxiety, fear of failure, shame, self-criticism. And most importantly, it makes peace feel like a distant reward, only earned when everything finally falls into place. In Buddhism, perfection is not the goal, presence is. The Buddha never promised a perfect life. What he offered was a clear mind, a compassionate heart, and the wisdom to meet life as it is, messy, uncertain, and beautifully imperfect. The idea that we must be flawless is an illusion created by ego and reinforced by society. We scroll through carefully curated images, watch edited versions of other people's lives, and subconsciously begin to believe that we are the only ones struggling, making mistakes, falling behind. But here's the truth. Buddhist wisdom reminds us of again and again, to be human is to be imperfect, to make errors, to stumble, to learn, unlearn, and begin again. There is nothing wrong with you for not having it all together. There is nothing wrong with growing slowly. There is nothing wrong with being a work in progress. The real suffering begins when we attach our self-worth to unrealistic standards. You might think, I can only rest when I've done enough. I'll be happy once everything is organized. I'm not good enough until I fix every flaw. But these beliefs keep you in a cycle of constant self-rejection. You delay your peace. You postpone your joy. You withhold love from yourself because you think you have to earn it. In Buddhist practice, there is a beautiful principle called beginner's mind. It teaches us to show up to each moment with openness, curiosity, and humility, not as experts trying to perfect life, but as students willing to embrace its imperfections. Imagine if you looked at your mistakes not as failures, but as teachers. What would happen if instead of saying, I messed up again, you said, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm human? This shift softens the heart. It relaxes the tension. It allows you to breathe again, not as someone trying to impress the world, but as someone simply existing in truth. Letting go of perfection doesn't mean becoming careless or lazy. It means no longer using perfection as a weapon against yourself. It means choosing compassion over comparison. It means understanding that the lotus, the sacred flower of Buddhism, blooms from the mud, not from perfection. Your flaws do not make you unworthy. They make you real. Your missteps do not disqualify you from peace. They invite you to slow down and reflect. You were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be present, to show up for this life with awareness, kindness, and a willingness to grow. So take the pressure off your shoulders. Release the need to always be right, always be liked, always be impressive, and start embracing the version of you that's already enough, the one breathing right now. Because true happiness doesn't come from polishing every detail. It comes from accepting the whole. Here's a practice you can return to when the perfectionist inside you gets loud. Sit in silence. Place your hands on your heart. Close your eyes and say gently, I release the need to be perfect. I choose to be present. I am worthy of peace, exactly as I am. Repeat it as many times as you need. Let it sink into the spaces where judgment used to live. Let it remind you that peace begins, not when life is flawless, but when you stop demanding it to be. In the end, it's not perfection that brings freedom. It's self-acceptance. And once you embrace that, worry begins to fade. Because you're no longer chasing an image, you're finally living in your truth. 7. Focus on one day at a time. When life feels overwhelming, it's rarely because of what's happening right now. It's because your mind is stretched across time. Part of you is clinging to the past, rehashing mistakes, replaying regrets. Another part is racing into the future, trying to predict, plan, and control what hasn't even happened yet. And in the middle of all that noise, the only place where life is truly unfolding, the present moment, is forgotten. This is how worry takes root. It feeds on the mind's habit of time traveling. You begin to feel anxious, not because of the present, but because you're mentally carrying yesterday and tomorrow all at once. You feel burdened by everything you think you need to fix, everything that might go wrong and everything you wish had been different. But here is where Buddhist wisdom offers a simple yet powerful truth. Peace is only possible when you return to now. The past is a memory. The future is a possibility. But the present, this breath, this step, this choice, is the only reality. And when you focus your energy on just today, everything begins to soften. There's a reason monks and spiritual practitioners emphasize mindfulness so deeply. Because mindfulness is not just about meditation. It's about choosing to be here, not pulled in 10 different directions by your thoughts. It's about realizing that you don't have to solve your entire life today. You only need to be present for this one small piece of it. Take a moment to reflect. What if today was enough? What if you didn't have to fix everything all at once? What if you gave yourself permission to let go of yesterday's weight and tomorrow's pressure and simply lived one day well? This is not avoidance, it's wisdom. Because when you are fully present for this day, you are giving life your best attention, your clearest thinking, and your calmest energy. And when you live today well, tomorrow tends to take care of itself. Think of your mind like a garden. If you spend all day worrying about whether the flowers will bloom next season, you miss the joy of watering them today. If you're constantly digging up the soil to recheck the roots, you disturb the very growth you're hoping for. But if you simply show up, tend the soil, pull the weeds, add sunlight and care, then nature does the rest. Life unfolds in its time. Your job is just to be present for each step. Focusing on one day at a time also teaches you compassion. It allows you to say, I'm not perfect, but I'm showing up. I may not have all the answers, but I'm doing what I can today. And that truly is enough. Here's a gentle practice you can try when the pressure of life feels too much. Sit quietly. Take 3 slow breaths. Place your attention on what is right in front of you. Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today that supports my peace? It could be taking a walk, drinking water, writing down your thoughts, or simply saying no to something that drains you. You don't need to climb the entire mountain today. You just need to take the next mindful step. In Buddhism, this approach is known as one-moment mindfulness. It means living fully in each moment, one after the other, not worrying about how far the road goes, but trusting that each step brings you closer to the truth, to healing, and to peace. Repeat this simple mantra when worry tries to rush you. Just this moment, just this breath, just this step. Because no matter how big the challenge feels, it's only made of small moments strung together. And when you focus on doing just this moment well, you take back your power from the unknown. So release the illusion that you need to have it all figured out. You don't. You never did. And that's okay. Life is not asking for your perfection. It's asking for your presence. When your mind is calm, today is enough. When your heart is steady, this step is sacred. And when your energy is focused on now, you begin to realize that happiness has always been here, waiting in the simplicity of one ordinary mindful day. There's a quiet, invisible weight that many people carry, a constant need to explain, justify, or defend who they are. You want to be understood. You want others to see your intentions clearly. You want them to know you meant well, that your heart was in the right place, that your silence didn't mean disrespect, or your choices didn't come from a bad place. And so you keep explaining. You keep overthinking every interaction, every conversation, replaying what you said, wondering if they misunderstood you, or judged you, or labeled you wrongly. You come up with the perfect reply in your mind long after the moment has gone. And before you realize it, you're stuck, not because of what others say, but because you want them to understand you. But Buddhism shares a freeing truth with you. You're not in charge of how others see you. You're only in charge of your own clarity, your own choices, and your own heart. The Buddha once said that people will see your actions through their own pain, their past, and their expectations. Even when you act with love, someone might still answer with anger. Even when you speak kindly, someone might still twist your words. Because you're not talking into an empty space, you're speaking into people's minds, shaped by years of their own life. And you can't control how they understand you. Once you fully accept this, a gentle kind of peace begins to grow inside you. You stop feeling the need to be perfect in every explanation. You no longer feel the need to reshape your identity just to make others feel comfortable. You start to see that being misunderstood isn't a failure. It's simply a part of life. Even the Buddha, one of the most kind-hearted beings to ever walk the earth, was misunderstood, judged, and misrepresented. If even he wasn't spared, then why do you think you should be? Releasing the need to be understood doesn't mean you become cold or pull away. It just means you stop tiring yourself out trying to control how others view you. It means you let your actions speak more than your words. It means you live from your inner truth, not from the changing opinions of others. In Buddhist mindfulness, we return to ourselves, not to be selfish, but to stay grounded. We pause and reflect on our intentions. Did I act with care? Was my heart honest? Did I speak with kindness and clarity? If the answer is yes, then that is enough. You are not here to prove your value to anyone. You are here to live truthfully and let your life be quiet, proof of your inner peace. It's also helpful to see that always wanting to be understood often comes from a deep fear. A fear of being rejected, ignored, or not accepted. But when you start accepting yourself just as you are in this moment, you rely less on outside approval. You begin to see, I don't need others to understand me for me to feel at peace. I can hold both truth and misunderstanding without losing who I am. I can allow others to have their views and still stay clear within myself. Here is a gentle practice you can turn to whenever you feel the urge to explain yourself over and over. Sit quietly, rest your hand on your chest, take a slow breath, and silently say, I let go of needing to be understood. I return to my truth. My peace doesn't rely on approval. You'll be surprised by how powerful this becomes, because when you no longer need everyone to agree with you, like you, or approve of you, you feel free. You create space within. You move more lightly. You speak more honestly. You live with more calm. And with time, people start to notice your stillness. Not because you tried to convince them, but because you stopped fighting what is. The world might not always understand your silence, your limits, your journey, or your growth. And that's perfectly fine. You don't have to give anyone a version of yourself that feels small just to be accepted. You owe yourself truth, balance, and freedom from the noise of other people's opinions. Because in the end, the deepest peace doesn't come from being fully understood, but from truly understanding yourself. Worry might always knock at your door, but you don't need to let it in. You don't have to let it stay in your mind, take away your peace, or decide how your days will feel. Buddhism reminds us that freedom doesn't come from changing everything around us. It comes from changing how we relate to what's inside us. With awareness, presence, kindness, and letting go, you slowly take your life back from fear, step by step, breath by breath. Maybe your past wasn't peaceful. Maybe your future feels unclear. But this moment, right here, right now, is still yours to choose. And when you choose calm instead of chaos, truth instead of approval, gratitude instead of fear, and the present instead of chasing perfection, you start to guide your inner world. No, happiness isn't some faraway prize you need to earn. It's already inside you, quiet, waiting, ready to rise the moment you stop running from yourself. So live gently, speak with care, breathe slowly, move with awareness, and most importantly, trust that the more you let go of what no longer serves you, the lighter and brighter your life will become. You don't need a completely new life to feel happy. You just need a fresh way to see the life you already have. Let this be your gentle reminder. Worry is a habit, and so is peace. The one you choose more often becomes the shape of your life. May you move through your journey with ease, grace, and calm, and may each day feel a bit softer, a bit simpler, and a bit more free.